Oil and natural gas has been used as a resource across the globe for centuries, but it wasn't until the early 1800s that the oil industry really began to take shape. Now, the process which conventional exploration companies go through to search for and eventually extract oil or gas is complex and stringent. Exploration companies draw on previously known geological data to determine the possible presence of hydrocarbons. To begin any work on the ground, an exploratory licence must be applied for from the relevant government department. Once a possible target is selected, an application for planning approval must be submitted to the local authority to build a site to drill a well. An exploratory drilling site is around the size of a football pitch. They are constructed with a perimeter ditch and an impermeable membrane across the whole of the site, creating an entirely contained area. This eliminates any risk of contamination to the surrounding environment. Before the main drilling rig is mobilised, a small rig can be used to drill the first phase of the well. These are typically less than 20 metres high. Once this stage is complete, the main drilling rig is mobilised to site and constructed over a period of around 2 weeks. This rig is approximately 50 metres high and will drill up to roughly 3 kilometres in depth. This process takes between 6 and 12 weeks before the rig is removed from site.
The starting point for it all is the location of the subsurface structure that the operator is looking to drill into. From that, they will give a subsurface target, and we then decide which is the best location to drill from. How we do that is obviously take a look at the area, look at anything that has the potential to be impacted on the operation. For example, the close proximity of properties to the site, for noise, location for visual, although it is a temporary operation, so therefore the impact is minimal. We also look at its impact on ecology and also archaeology. So before we actually home in on the selection of a site, we review the area as a whole, determine what is potential impact, and then decide whether any mitigation can be achieved to reduce the impact to an acceptable level. Okay, this is the first drilling operation, and as you can see, it's a smaller drilling unit. The height of the mast is just below 20 metres. In comparison to the main drilling unit, the mast will be just below 50 metres high. The site, as you see it, is fairly open, and the rig that we have on site at the moment doesn't take up much space. Obviously, when the big drilling unit arrives, this site will be full of equipment. The site is sized suitably enough to achieve the drilling operation in a safe manner. We don't want to take up too much room. Obviously, the lesser the size of the site, the lesser the impact on the environment. During the construction phase of the well site, we provide an environmental protection membrane which sits underneath the site stone, as you can see here. And in order to protect the liner so it doesn't get damaged or ripped, we provide a protection felt which lays underneath the liner and above the liner as well. We've now got the main drilling unit on the well site. As you can see, the main drilling unit fills the site completely. There is sufficient room for us to do our operation safely without taking too much of the land up as an impact on the surrounding environment. We have the drilling rig here. It's a 50-metre high drilling mast. Throughout the whole of the oil exploration and subsequent production operations, the most intrusive part of the drilling operation is really when the rig is on site. As you can see, it stands 50 metres high. It works 24 hours a day. albeit I'm stood here now just outside the site and the rig is drilling, so the noise isn't really a significant issue. This process lasts anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks for the drilling operation.
If producible hydrocarbon reserves are found, an entirely new planning application has to be submitted to enable the company to extract the resources. Detailed screening and landscaping forms part of any proposal for longer-term infrastructure. If oil is found, a set of stock tanks will be positioned on site, with road tankers used to transport the oil away. For gas sites, a subsurface pipeline will be necessary to take the gas to the nearest national transmission line. If unsuccessful, the land will be completely restored.
We're at a site which is very close to a village. We've got properties to the west and to the east, and clearly you can see from the sites that we've got good screening around the sites. When we're drilling exploration sites, we don't necessarily start a screening plan for the site because it's temporary, and if there's no oil or gas there, then we'll just abandon the well, restore the site, and put it back to agriculture again. So no need to get into screening at that point. But on a producing site, yes, you're going to be around for a period of time. Yes, it's important to fit in with the surroundings, and therefore a screening plan is required. When you mention oil and gas, everybody just naturally assumes the worst, which is, you know, a dirty oil rig, dirty oil, noise, pollution of the noise, the lighting, and the ground. But as you'll have seen from the video footage that's been presented, the sites are not very big. The impact is minimal. The site is constructed to protect the environment. The well is designed to protect the environment. There is an element of intrusion in the initial drilling phase. Following the drilling phase, there's the production phase, as we've seen again from the footage. The sites are indeed less of an impact when they're in production than they are when the drilling operation is taking place. So long term, these well sites can actually be very good neighbours.